Speed.
Hey guys, Jared, Jensen, and Misha here, and we have some big news that we wanted y'all to hear from us.
We just told the crew that though we're very, very excited about moving into our 15th season, it will be our last. 15 years of a show that has certainly changed my life. I know it's changed these two guys' life. We just wanted you to hear from us that though we're excited about next year, it will be the finale, the big grand finale of an institution.
Yeah, we've cried some tears, and we'll cry some more.
But we're going to save the emotion for next season.
Grateful, and we'll work all the emotion into next season.
We talked about this in advance. We're like, let's not get emotional about it. Let's just try to be cool. And
he's hanging on for dear life. I know him.
We love you guys, and this family is not going anywhere, even though the show will come to an end.
I will say this: a little word from Mr. Eric Kripke, the creator of this world and these characters, that in a show about family, it is amazing, and it is the pride of his life that it became family. So thank you guys for that.
Thank you.
Who else I need? I got Jason, I got... Oh, Jensen Ackles, will you come on?
Good evening.
Sorry, can you do that?
I'm on need someone to help me. I'm on need somebody's hand. I'm on need someone to hold me down. I'm on need someone to care. I'm on round and shake my body. I start pulling out my hair. I'm gonna cover myself with ashes of you. Ain't nobody's gonna give a damn. Son of a bitch, give me a break. Come on now, give me a break. Son of a bitch, but can't be clean. I'm gonna live my life away. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Now those 17 years I've been throwing them back. 17 more will bury me. Can somebody please just tie me down? Now somebody give me a goddamn train. Son of a bitch, give me a drink. One more ride. Give me a drink. Son of a bitch, you can't be me. I'm gonna live my life away. My heart is breaking, hands are shaking, bugs are crawling all over me. My heart is breaking, hands are shaking, bugs are crawling all over me. My heart is breaking, hands are shaking, bugs are crawling all over me. My heart is breaking, hands are shaking.
You guys get after it. Good night, guys.
I've been lied to. I don't know why that big woman make me a fool. She took all my money. She wrecked my new car. Now she's with one of my good time buddies, drinking at some crosstown bar. Sometimes I feel. Sometimes I feel like I've been tied to the whipping post. Tied to the whipping post. Tied to the whipping post. Oh, Lord, I feel like I'm dying. I've been such a fool, 'cause I had to stand by and take it, baby. For loving you. Drown myself in sorrow as I look at what you've done. Nothing seems to change. The bad times stay the same. I can't run. Sometimes I feel. Sometimes I feel like I've been tied to the whipping post. Tied to the whipping post. Tied to the whipping post. Oh, Lord, I feel like I'm dying. Sometimes I feel. Sometimes I feel like I've been tied to the whipping post. Tied to the whipping post. Tied to the whipping post. Oh, Lord, I feel like. I feel like Vegas, come on. I feel like
I've still got it left in me. Good morning. Mine's on.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. How are y'all?
How's everybody doing this beautiful Sunday morning? In lovely Las Vegas.
Lovely. So.
How was your night? Did you survive?
I'm alive, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Right. Is there a tiger in your bathroom?
There may be. What happens in
Somebody's
Vegas?
just cackling over there. I've been there. That's why I know.
I'll go feed them. We have some big news that I think everybody's aware of.
What?
We're done with season 14.
Yeah, we're done. We finished. Finito.
See you later.
That's right. This past Tuesday, we wrapped up season 14, and it was good. It was great. It was a big episode. We had some folks come back for that particular episode. That was nice to see. You probably already know that. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Hiatus. We're starting our hiatus period soon. Look at that kind of scratchy point right now.
And what else?
She knows what I'm talking about. Is that?
He's just pointing
I don't know. Jokes. Listen, I'm gonna apologize in advance. He's working on little sleep, and I'm working on heavy doses of cold medicine right now. So together we're.
He doesn't have a cold.
Yeah, I know. Just figured I'd try something other than all the coffee.
Yeah. The bigger deal is that this is now day 5 of our 14th and final hiatus.
Oh well, let's not go down that road just yet. It's it's 10:35. Let's ease into the day. This is like the longest con, right? This is 4 days. 4 days. It's like a marathon. Which I just read. You don't have to run.
Yes.
For all those marathoners out there, you don't have to run them. It's a choice.
You can always drive them. I'd like to. Yes. Amen. Bicycle.
Yeah, that's right. Get one of those recumbent bikes where you just sit down.
There's like a song about it.
And like watch Netflix while you're just cruising through. Oh, I just started a new show on Netflix.
Supernatural?
Yeah. Nope, not anymore. No, we're not on Netflix anymore, right?
Oh, just not in Canada. Yes.
There you are. U.S.
Just make sure you're paying attention. No, I just started the OA. Have you guys seen that? No. I still don't know what it's about, but I'm like 4 episodes in. Buckle up. Great. It's pretty cool.
Something to watch when Supernatural's done?
What? What's wrong with you?
I'm sad.
Gosh.
Hug. Virtual hug.
Jared will be your Debbie Downer for the day.
No, not long, man. Not at all, man. It's all gonna be over.
Gosh. Go lose your shoe or something.
Oh, wait.
Do you want to take some questions?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that.
That shares a scene.
The most difficult part about playing a dual role that shares a scene. You probably have more than I have.
Yeah, I think for me, where are you from, by the way?
I actually live in Las Vegas, but I'm from France.
Oh, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Non, bonjour.
It's not even close to being evening.
Good jour. Jour. Day, jour.
Journée.
How is your jour going?
So far, so good. Thank you.
So far, so bon.
Would that be comme ça?
Comme ça.
See?
Great pronunciation, Jensen.
It's all right.
Wait, I just did the jour thing and the
No,
soir
that was
thing.
really good too.
Good pronunciation, Jensen.
Yeah, that's like,
Come on now.
you can't buffet style the language.
It's buffet. I think I have done a few more than Ackles has. The biggest part, honestly, is you don't have anybody to act with. I think a lot of people, I think our style of acting is sort of, it's very...
That's kind of like a scene between you and me anyways. It's just as much of a cut down to myself.
And
too.
awesome.
Threw us both under the bus.
Yeah, fair. I feel like one of my favorite parts of acting is you do your homework. You know, you read your lines and script, you memorize them, and you get to set, and you're working with this guy or with Misha or whomever, guest star. And so then it brings out different aspects of the story you weren't really aware of. Whereas if you're playing both characters in the scene, you sort of get there and you don't have anybody to really push you. And we have great, whether they're stand-ins or stunt doubles or photo doubles, to read the lines with us, but I don't think they necessarily feel comfortable enough to push us. So one of my favorite parts of doing any scene is when somebody, it's like playing tennis or something, or whatever your sport is. When somebody kind of pushes you, you're like, all right, we're doing this, we're playing. So I feel like it's difficult to get pushed in a scene where you're kind of conscientiously thinking, I'm about to do the other side of this, so what should I do there? So it's a difficult process.
It's a dance. It's, you know, there's this kind of symbiotic thing that goes on between two performers that when they're in sync and when they're
I love in sync.
yeah, I know. There's a rhythm that you can find within a scene.
They have great rhythm.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. But when you have those, when you have scenes like that where there is this rhythm, then you're right. You do. There's like a bit of a back and forth. You challenge each other, and that kind of brings up these nuances in the scene that maybe weren't there on the page. And I think that's what he and I love doing the most when it comes to showing up on set and performing. And when you're doing a scene without somebody, it takes that away. So it's harder to find a rhythm. You have to find it from both sides. So, you try to think and make decisions on how you want to perform it on one side, and then you have to remember those decisions and how you performed it on that side when you turn around and play it on the other side, which is just a lot more.
Would you say it's a challenge? Challenge?
Défi.
I think that means something else.
Défi.
Merci to you too.
I think that's a shalom.
Have it.
Isn't that how you pronounce it?
Have a bone day.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Merci.
Well, it would no longer be our last year if money and location. I think same.
We've often talked about doing an actual road show, having a traveling caravan of crew and cast and writers, producers, and literally making it a traveling show. Maybe not specifically going to those towns, but moving around to where you get a different landscape and you get a different feel and a different vibe from where you're filming and what you're shooting. And so I know that logistically that would be a nightmare. It would also be very expensive. But I think it would just be really cool because it'd be like a band going out on tour. you know, and going to these different towns and solving these different, you know, cases. And so I specifically, I don't know. There's not one place in mind, but I've always had this dream of like actually going on the road and doing it as much like the characters do it in the show.
Yeah, agreed. I also want to do something real fast while we're talking about it. Oh, wait.
What are we talking about?
Let's go this way. Hi, yes.
You'll have to excuse my friend.
First of all, we're very grateful to be here this weekend, of all of the weekends, to share with y'all. Just get emotional.
Me too.
And I want to say to Jensen, that performance last night lit up the joint. That was really delightful. But I just wanted to reiterate to Jared, I've watched Profit and Loss like maybe 8 times now, and I'm tearing up just thinking about it. The progression of grief that you showed us and shared with us in that episode, from the beginning, when you were like a tightly coiled rope when Dean was giving his deathbed confession, to the uncharacteristic violence you showed on the Prophet, and then, of course, that fantastic final scene by the Apollo. Just, it was unforgettable, and it moved me. And I'm so grateful for you. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Can somebody fart or something?
Here, they got you covered. They got you covered, big guy.
Thank you.
Was there a question in there, or was this just
No more crying.
it was just a therapy session?
Yeah, I think we know that.
Well, as are you, and
Yeah, honestly.
you know, this is we've said it before, and we'll continue to say it for many, many, many years to come. That what we've created here goes far beyond anything you see on screen. So we're very appreciative of
And
you.
he's saying what we created. All of us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
you've got. It was a piece of tissue, all right. There might have been some glitter in there.
Guys, my question is for Jensen.
Hi.
Thank God.
I'm not going to cry.
Well, I guess last hiatus, when I knew that I was going to be coming back and playing Michael, I had conversations with Andrew just about like calling, and I was like, say, you know, is there any specific kind of a thing that I need to know? Is there a certain way you want him to speak or sound, or and I was also thinking like how Christian had what he had done with him, and I think I've told the story before. I asked Christian if there was anything that, you know, he tells himself before going into the character. Is there something that he, you know, just a trigger that helps him kind of get into character? I think that, you know, some people have those things. And he was like, yeah, I do this. And he like flipped his coat out and was like, I was like, oh. And so when talking with Andrew about it, Andrew was like, yeah, no, I think you got it. And so I was a bit, to be honest, in the first couple of episodes, I only had like 2 scenes in the season opener this past year.
That's why it was so good.
And yeah, that's right, quality, not quantity. think that I was still trying to find that rhythm of who this guy was, how he spoke, how he moved. I remember one thing that that I kept kind of telling myself was, remember that you are the most powerful being in anybody's presence. There is nothing that you are frightened of. There is nothing.
So like a typical day for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then he can get to work and be like, wait, am I Dean or Michael today?
Right. Or Jensen. And one thing I did was I tried not to blink. So I tried to just keep those eyes just as open as possible, because and the slow looks around. It was almost robotic.
And that messed me up, because usually he's so blinky with those big old eyelashes.
I did.
How did you sleep, Jared? Welcome back to set.
My youngest daughter, I asked her, I'm like, give me sweet eyes, and she goes.
By the way, she's like a Disney character. Her eyelashes are this long. It's just like.
But it wasn't until.
I don't know how you discipline her, because.
I don't. I'm like, ew.
But Daddy.
We're good. I'm gonna take it out on your brother.
You already beat him up. I'll beat him up again. He must have done something wrong.
Yeah. But it wasn't until I think Spate's episode, his first directing one, where I kind of got with him and I was like, hey man, if you're seeing anything, like you know me, you've seen me perform for many, many years. Give me just a thumbs up, thumbs down if some of these choices are what you think is right. And so he kind of helped me, just kind of kept me between the lines a little bit, and then I kind of really started feeling the rhythm. And it wasn't. I remember that one scene where I was chained up inside the men of letters, talking to both Castiel and talking to Jack. And that was really, I kind of found my stride just in time to kill him.
Riders is the theme of the show and of the episodes, and I know the overall theme of the show is family and revenge and redemption, but I'm curious what you think the theme of 14 has been now that you've read it and you've seen the arc start to finish. If there's something special that has stood out to you about the story structure and the theme of what you're telling.
Yeah, I push back a little bit on revenge. Yeah, totally. But I don't feel like Sam or Dean set out for revenge as much as they set out for vengeance. Like sort of like this, not because you punched me, I'm gonna punch you harder, but like the right thing to do is punch you harder, so I'm gonna do the right thing, which is gonna be intangible and.
It's more I'm gonna make this right as opposed to I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna write this as opposed to like you made me mad, I'm gonna get you. It's more like, man, you didn't make me mad, like I can deal with it, but I need to get you.
I feel like season 14 dealt with a lot with sacrifice.
Loss,
sacrifice and loss, but a lot of that loss came from sacrifice.
Yeah,
and there could have been more sacrifice, or could have been more loss, but. Yeah, Dean was ready to take a jump in the box and take Michael down. You have Jack, who was willing to put himself out there.
Yeah, part of it, I feel like this season also part of it we dealt with. Supernatural has had a lot of loss, and then they came back. Like I died and came back. He died and came back. So I feel like part of this season is more about true pain of loss, and it's sort of something we're going through right now with the show. Yeah, that's what I was going to try to talk about earlier. I still can't. Yeah, so loss.
Levity to the situation. This is
Thank
for
God.
This is for Jensen.
Thank
about
God.
Jared.
For me, about him?
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. You want to share?
We're going to. It's all about your sharing, actually. So earlier in this weekend, we've heard some wonderful stories about how Jared on scene sometimes as the force of the wind, if you know what I mean.
The force is strong with him.
So I was wondering if you could share with us, please, a humorous either on or backstage, off-scene event where the force of the wind was certainly very strong.
I'm laughing really quickly because my 5-year-old will be like, Dad, I tooted. I'm like, Chevy, that wasn't a toot, that was the force of the wind.
Yeah, the force is strong. What baffles me about his skill set is that if he wants it to be silent, if he needs it to make noise in order for people to laugh, and it's unbelievable because it's the silent ones. But the audible ones don't at all. And I'm like, how? And he's like, it's the force. And it truly is baffling to me the skill of flatulence that you possess.
We literally are unhireable anywhere else.
Yes, that's a common theme heard on set by most of the crew and the cast is that it's that we're just not hireable in any other on any other project.
And we joke often that we're unfireable. You know, like you can't really do Supernatural without Sam and Dean. But we're also unhireable anywhere else. So
right.
It's this weird.
Because the lack of professionalism that is displayed from moment to moment, but then we somehow manage to get. I mean, I remember.
Dude, forces of the wind happen.
I remember.
It's not unprofessional.
Phil Segretia, who's been with us for forever, was directing the season finale, and there was one day where he had the devil in him, and Phil's just like walking out, and he's saying through like laughing tears, like, can we please just get the scene?
It'll make the gag reel for sure.
Oh yeah, and he's like, I just want to finish this before lunch, please. He's like begging Jared to just behave.
I won't say too much, but I will say this. It was shot on Castiel from the waist up, and I was crawling onto set so that the camera couldn't see me.
Yeah, because at one point he was standing next to Misha, and so the camera was, first it got Misha's coverage, which Jared, I believe, was grabbing the inside of his knee or his thigh. And,
leg,
yeah, and squeezing it, so like drawing blood. And so Misha's like, I can't do this with him here. So they literally just said, you're off camera, get out of here, somebody else will read your lines. So they kick him off the set, and I'm across from Misha, and he's now doing the scene, and I just look in the doorway, and here comes Jared crawling on all fours back onto set to inflict more pain on Misha. And I lean into to Brad, our camera operator, I'm like, tilt down, tilt down, tilt down. He's like, we're in the middle of it, I'm like, tilt down. And so he just tilts down, and there's Jared just like. So now keep in mind, Jared still hasn't done his coverage yet. And here's where it takes like an even more bizarre turn. During Jared's coverage, I'm thinking, well, Misha's gonna get him back big time. And Misha was, but in retaliation for Misha getting him back, Jared is now squeezing inside of his thigh even harder, which made Jared's coverage look like this.
I also,
I think Nina, she's our director, she said, Jared, you're the only person who sabotages your own coverage.
You're the only actor I've ever worked with who sabotages their own coverage.
Yeah. And
I will say this: when Misha, like I had bruises on my arm. I may still. He was sitting there going like this, like the inside.
Pinching the inside of my bicep,
like the meat.
That is a very sensitive, like.
And he was sitting there, and I was like, "This kind of pissed me off, but I totally deserve this." So I said, "So like,
I'm just like so happy I was not on that side of the table.
I deserve this."
And Phil, he keeps coming around. He's like, guys, please. just want to finish the scene before lunch. And he's like laughing because it's, I don't know. Again, unhireable on another set. Anywhere else, we don't put up. And there was one crew guy who was new. He was a day call that day, and he was working some of the electrics stuff. And I remember him watching in just like disbelief that this was the kind of shenanigans that goes on the show that is in its 14th year. And they yelled cut, and he was just like, wow.
Literally, that was it.
Yeah, like just like, I can't believe these people are allowed a job.
Theory online. Kripke's vision was 5 years. Can't help but notice it went 10 extra. Who made the Crossroads deal?
I will.
Listen, 10 extra years, you know? Somebody sold their soul.
Yeah. I heard that too. It's really funny. I went way down the rabbit hole, and if I can't say it, I'm not gonna say it again. But yeah, I agree. We also kind of wanted to communicate to you guys. This was a community decision. Like the network and the studio did not say like, "Hey guys, get out of here, you're done." It was more of it's like a dog you love, putting it down, you know.
Yeah, don't do that. It's no. This was certainly not an easy decision. If we're going to address it, let's just address it now.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy decision. It was months and months, if not years, of discussion between he and I, between the rest of the cast, between the crew, between our writers, between our producers, between the studio, between the network. Nobody wanted to see this show fizzle out. Yeah. And I think that it was everyone wanting to do the biggest service to the show that we could by going out strong. And it just seemed like the writing was kind of on the wall as to when that was happening. And I think everybody kind of felt that it was coming soon. And so it was just taking that leap of faith of going like, well guys, let's get out the paint, let's paint that finish line and hold our heads high, because what we've accomplished is unlike any other. I made an analogy last night. I said, I was like, listen, if we're driving in the Impala, we're headed down the road, and it's like, left, you're going to hit a ramp and go off a cliff, and it's going to be epic. Or right, you're just going to run out of gas about 30 miles down the road in the middle of the desert with nothing around you. I'm like, I'm going left.
Those both suck.
I want to go out with like pyrotechnics.
Both suck.
Yeah, but it's, dying in your car because you ran out of gas, that's, yay. That's fine.
Yeah, so
anyway.
That and the Crossroads deal.
And apparently somebody made a Crossroads deal because all signs were pointing to next year. So that's there you go. What's that?
That was mean. That was mean.
How we doing? Oh, is that it? We're gonna end on that? Yay! Perfect.
All right.
All right. Well, listen. We're not done. We have a whole nother year. So I didn't get sad at the end of my junior year of high school going like, I'm so sad it's over. No, I still have my entire senior year to go.
So for the non-Texans, a whole nother is Texan for another.
This is true. All right, guys. We'll see y'all in a little bit. Love y'all. Glad you're here.